Okay, so before starting the demo, so what are the things we need as a kind of prerequisites? So one is we need a standalone Mongo instance as a source, which can be installed on your local machine or on your other cloud vendors. And then we need a user which can read all the databases of the source database. And then we need the oplog needs to be enabled. So oplogs are like a file or kind of directory or a file which is keeping all the transactions going on your Mongo databases. So you can think it of as a binary logs in the MySQL. Then we have then for the incremental migration, we need to create the source database as the replica so that incremental migration can be make available. And then we need to whitelist the IPs of the data of the DTS in the source database so that DTS can take data from the source one and can send to the destination database. And then instance on Apsara MongoDB as destination. So we need to create one MongoDB instance on the ApsaraDB Cloud so that we do have the destination database as well. So let's start the actual demo part. If you see, I have already keep two tabs open. One is for the DTS and one is for the MongoDB. So just to save the time, I have already created one Mongo instance with me, which is in the India region. So you can select the region where you want to create your Mongo instance. But if you want to create it, you can create it from this page. So generally Mongo comes in two parts, as I have mentioned. That is, one is replica sets and one is sharded clusters. So you can decide your region and then the respective version, and accordingly you can decide the specification of your MongoDB. That's how it is. But just to save the time, I have already created one Mongo instance, and we have already one database source, that is one Mongo source. So okay, so I will keep the left tab as a source, and I will keep the right tab as my destination. So let's try to enter in my source database. So you can see I have this source database. Let's try to see if I have any kind of collections and documents created. So apart from the systems, I have created one demo migration. So you can see here. So I will not be creating one because this is for the migration part. And then if we see the collections, if you can see here, it's db.democall.find. So you can see all the documents in this respective collection. Now coming on to the destination part. So before trying to enter in this one, I want to show you something. That this is my Mongo instance which I have created, and while creating, I have created a username which has the privileged permissions, but not all, as we used to have in the self-managed one. But also we need to whitelist our IPs from where we want to connect our MongoDB. Apart from this, whenever you are accessing your Mongo instance from the outside world, you need a public IP connection. So as you know that MongoDB works in a 3 nodes replica or a 5 nodes or a 7 nodes or whatever you have designed. So I will try to log into the primary node using this public IP because I'm accessing from the outside world, not from the within VPC. But if your source database is in the same VPC as your database, then you can use the internet connections. But I'm using the public IP connection here. So let's keep it here. So yes, for this part, as before we go further, I'm trying to migrate a standalone Mongo to the Apsara Mongo. So I'm not going to migrate the sharded part or the replication part. So the standalone to the replication or to the replica cluster. So this is the string which I need to use to log into the cloud or the Apsara MongoDB instance. So if you see here, this is the same which I have used here. So let's try to log in this one, and let's try to enter the password. Okay, so let's see, I don't have anything. So I really don't have any collection as of now. Let's try to create a DTS instance. Okay, this one. This is the DTS, and now you need to create an instance where your region is, or where your RDS or database is in. So create a migration task. Let's give it a name, task name, demo migration. So we have different types of DTS as the source databases. So if your database resides on your local machine or on some public IP address, you have to use this one. But if you are using the databases which are in the same RDS or in the ApsaraDB RDS, you can use this one. And also, if you are using some self-built through the CEN, then you can use this. So there are number of source type which you can use here. Because I will be moving my database from the public IP, so I will be using this option. My instance is in India, so I will use this one. And then the database type I have. So this is my IP address of my source database. This will remain default of the MongoDB. Database name is admin. So you need a database name via which you can enter it. And then my database, which can read all the data, all the collections. Okay, let me put the database and test the connectivity. So this has been passed. But yes, if you are migrating from the MongoDB Atlas and you want to make it encrypted while migrating, you can use the SSL encryption mode. Now the destination part is the Mongo instance. Again, is in India, and because it is the self-housed managed databases, it will appear here. So this will be created, database name admin again, and then I will use database account name as the one which I have created, and then I enter the password and it will go. That's connectivity. Okay, this has been passed. We need to go further, set whitelist so that the destination database can contain the whitelisting IPs of the DTSs. Next part. Now we need to decide what type of migration, as I have mentioned before in my slides, whether we want full or incremental data migration. So I'll go for both one. So we need to decide which database you want to move, and then you can also do the migration as per the collection level. So I have one collection at the moment, but I will move the entire database. Let's move it. And then let's give it the different name just to be make clear the source one from source. Okay. Now this is the time which you want that until this time the source and the destination will be connected. Now the thing is here, you want the incremental data migration. So for the incremental data migration, as I have mentioned in my slide, that you need to make the source database as the replica for incremental migration. Now for this, let's try to create your source database as the replica part. So before that, we need to shut down our server, db.shutdown server. This will close our database. Now the database has been shut down. Server should be shut down. Now just to verify it, I will again try to log in, and it will not log in. Okay. Now I will try to make it as a replica. How will I do that? MongoDB minus the port which one I'm running on. Then I will put my DB path. So you have to change your DB path as per your environment. Then I will use my one var libmine MongoDB, and then I will put the log path where the log file resides, where all the whatever happening in your database will be residing here. So this is in var. So I'm using that default one which get installed by the installed libraries. So this one, and then the MongoDB log. And now I want to make it a replica set. So I will use this parameter repl set, and then I will give it a name rs0, and then I will bind the IP. So I will bind the IP 00 just for this demo, but it is recommended that you should bind the IP as per your need. And I will make sure that only the authentic users can log in, and then I will run it as a background. So let's try to run it. Okay, child process started successfully, parent exiting. Okay, now let's try to enter in this one. Um, okay, now you can see that your database, source database has been created as a primary database here. Now let's try to create the migration part, and let's see how full and incremental will work. Okay, let's go pre-check. Okay, so if there is any error, it will automatically comes up here. So sometimes if your op logs has not been enabled, this will get failed. So you have to enable your op logs. And then if your source database have some permission problems, then you have to deal with it accordingly. Then next. And now this is the important point. So the first thing is the full database migration is free. You don't need to pay for this one. But if you are going for the incremental part, which is kind of synchronization, then it is paid. But it is paid as per the channel specification. So by channel specification, I mean is that the number of records per second you want to migrate to your destination database. So the larger is your channel specification, the data will be more faster transfer. So I will be using 2x large for this demo, and then I will choose buy and start this one. And let's wait till the time the full database migration has been happened. Let's see what are in the details. So by quick diagnostic, you can check if there is some kind of problems in your DTS. You can click on this one, and then DTS will itself help you to realize what are the kind of errors you are facing and you are doing something wrong. Then the details. So you can see full data migrations. It is yet to be started, so it is running. So there is nothing as of now. So configure task. So you can see there's an instance ID for migration for every instance which you create. There's an instance ID which get automatically generated. That's not in your hand to change it. Then we have task name, which I have given in the starting phase. Then the migration types, full data migration plus incremental data migration. And then the rest of the details. And then also, if you want to monitor how your migration has been going on, you can check it from this side. Like what is the bandwidth, what is the source, target, RPS, the one which I have mentioned, and the rest of the things. You can even filter out the times, like what was the RPS before and now, or on your specified time windows. And then you can do it same for the incremental migration. So you can see here in the incremental migration, we have a source, we have a target, and then we have a DTS reader module, which caches the data, and then DTS writer module, which writes into the target part. So if you want to further diagnose it, then you can check in the logs. So as of now, it is not running because it is under the migration. Let's check what is the current process. Let's try to refresh it. Okay, you can see out of, let's see how many rows we have previously. So this is my source one. Let's try to enter in my database. Okay, now you can see here, so collection, show collections, and then db.demo call.find. It's just like select star from your. So we have around 7 documents in this collection, and this is what our data says. Let's verify if we have all the data is in our destination database. So first check if we have the database. Yes, we have the database, which we have renamed. Now let's try to copy it and paste it. Show collections. Okay, we have the collection here, and then we will put it here, and then find to verify if we have everything. Okay, so we have everything here. Now let's try to insert some more documents here. So our name was db.demo_call.insert, and then I will use this one. So okay, so now here I will just enter the checking part, check migrating, check if migrating, and check if incremental migrating. just to keep it as unique, or just to keep it simple. And I think we are good to go. Okay, so this has been inserted. Let's check whether it has been inserted successfully. Okay, so this is in the source. Let's check it in the destination. So you can see we have the final document here. Let's check what our console says. So you can see that in this one, we have all the database, which is like the full, you can check from here. And then from the performance monitoring, you can also check what was the topology and something like this. So that's how the simple migration you can do from your Mongo to the Apsara MongoDB. And it's quite easy. So, but one thing you need to disable, once it is done, you need to disable your replica once it is done. Yeah, I hope you have got some insights like how you can move from the Mongo to the Apsara MongoDB. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach us and we will be more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for joining.